Now, the aim of my brief this morning is to highlight the conduct of the exercise, the progress made so far, as well as the detailed plan. The exercise involves vegetation clearance using a mix of chemical and manual methods, search, recovery, using mechanized and handheld detectors, as well as disposal and protective works. The exercise has been divided into 4 phases, being mobilization, vegetation clearance, unexploded ordinances recovery and clearance, as well as demobilization. Now a look at each of these phases, starting with mobilization phase. The mobilization phase involves reconnaissance and planning, submission of plan, notification of the presidency, Army Headquarters approval, Army Headquarters directive to military stakeholders, and mobilization of equipment, plants, and stores. Other activities within this phase are notification of concerned state governors, coordinating meeting, notification of non-military stakeholders, evacuation of contaminated area, site security, application of herbicides, setting up of administrative areas, as well as public announcements. All these activities of mobilization have been completed. Additionally, so far, during the mobilization phase, we've carried out some vegetation clearance in the non-sensitive sectors of the site of the bomb blast. And the vegetation clearance has been almost 90% complete, leaving us with only the most important part of the exercise, which is the epicenter of the bomb blast in 2002. Now, phase 2 of the exercise is actually vegetation clearance, and it's predominantly clearance of vegetation using both herbicides, manual methods. We didn't use mechanized methods to carry out vegetation clearance because the UXOs within that particular area, they are sensitive. And effects such as shock, spark, and friction can set off the UXO. So that's why we're carefully carrying out the vegetation clearance. Extensive use of herbicides is being made use of. Burning of the bush is also not being utilized because heat can also set off the UXOs. So painstakingly, deliberate efforts and careful efforts have been made to clear the vegetation. And as we're clearing the vegetation, I also want to mention that we've recovered considerable number of unexploded ordinances. The next phase, which is phase 3, after the vegetation clearance, is the proper search and recovery operation. And as the Chief of Army Staff has said yesterday, the best in terms of search, recovery, identification, and safety equipment are being employed. For search and identification, we're employing the Husky counter-IED vehicle. This is a multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art detection vehicle. It has dual detection, detecting both the metal content of the unexploded ordnances as well as the ground penetrating radar, which detects the disturbance within the crust of the soil to detect the UXOs, even if they are buried up to 3 feet beneath the ground surface. In support of this also, we also have the handheld detectors, which is also metal detector and ground penetrating radar to support the Husky vehicle. Now, for safety equipment, we also have state-of-the-art equipment. We have the full bomb suit with its cooling suit that can withstand a blast of up to 50 kilograms of explosive. And this is what is going to be won, or what is being won by the search team, the identification team, as well as the recovery team on the site. Then we're also making use of the best practices in transporting the unexploded ordnances to the Nigerian Army range in agility. As Chief of Army Staff also mentioned yesterday, it is also instructive to note that as much as possible, we'll ensure that no detonation or no explosion of UXOs is going to be conducted within the cantonment. as much as possible, we'll ensure that, and we'll make sure that all detonation is going to be conducted in the Nigerian Army range in agility for that, which is being prepared for that particular purpose. So during the movement, we are also going to employ the services of the Federal Road Safety Commission, the Nigerian Police Force Explosive Ordnance Disposal, the Nigerian Police Force Mobile Team for traffic control, traffic intelligence, as well as safety during the movement period. Additionally, precautions are also going to be taken to ensure that we carry out that particular movement at hours or timings that ensures that we don't have too much human or traffic density along the highways in order to reduce the hazards in case of unintended hazards or incidents, as the case may be. Additionally, we also have the support of the Federal Fire Service, and they're also going to make available their fire truck in support of the Nigerian Army supply and transport fire trucks that are also already available. So movement to and from the range in agility is covered by ambulance as well as fire trucks. Now, having cleared, recovered, and disposed of the various items of unexploded ordnances at the site, the next phase, which is phase 4, is actually the demobilization phase. And this phase is very technical. At the end of the clearance and disposal exercise, there's something that we'll call site inspection. It's a professional and expertise inspection that's carried out by a combined team of the Nigerian Army Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team and the ammunition technician of the Nigerian Army Ordnance Corps. And this will be supported by the Nigerian Police Force Bomb Disposal Unit. And also, we also welcome international stakeholders in the field of explosive ordnance disposal to carry out this inspection exercise. The aim of the inspection exercise is preceding the site certification. Experts are invited, they come around, we go around the site together, they look at the methods in which we have employed, they look at the markings in the field, they look at the tactics, techniques, and procedures that have been employed by the Nigerian Army in carrying out this all-important and all-sensitive task. And by so doing, number one, they ensure that the site is actually free of all contamination. And that precedes the site certification. If they come in and they don't see that all the procedures, and they see that all the procedures are not followed, either through the markings from the search and recover phase, the vegetation clearance phase, the disposal phase, they won't certify the site to be safe. So Nigerian Army, we are conducting the exercise. We are not the one only assessing ourselves. Additionally, the Nigerian Army Directorate of Army Standard and Evaluation is also going to conduct this assessment jointly with the team. Having done this, once the site has been found to be clean of UXOs, and also the procedure that's been employed is found to be in conformity with global best practices, the assessment team will now go ahead to sign the certificate that the site can now be recategorized as Category A, safe and decontaminated, free for future productive use by the Nigerian Army. So having carried this out also, once the site has been classified safe, we now hand over the site to the Nigerian Army authorities for future use. And after this also, we demobilize all the equipment and personnel on the site. And that will mark the end of the exercise. I want to give a little brief on other administrative plans for the exercise. For a smooth conduct of the exercise clean sweep, the exercise has administrative areas, which one of it is where you are sitting down now. We have the forward administrative area where the Chief of Army Staff conducted the flagging off of the exercise, as well as the rear administrative area. The forward administrative area is that area that's very, very close to the site clearance, the clearance site. And that is where we have the immediately required staging areas. The first aid post is there. The explosive storage area is there. The metallic waste storage area is there. The vegetation storage area is there. Sentry post is there, as well as rest area for the team that are conducting the clearance exercise. Now to the rear admin area. The rear admin area is the area that's about at least 200 meters away from the searched or the contaminated area. And this is designed because we have to make sure that this is the area where we'll be receiving visitors. So we have to keep it as much as possible far away from the hazards of unintended detonation of UXOs that may be taking place within that particular area. And within this rear administrative area, we have the rest area, we have the fire service area, we have the medical and ambulance area, and also we have the press briefing area in which we are right now. So in the press briefing area, as well as the command post, this is where we take stock and we mark the progress of the exercise so far. Additionally, this is also where the site coordinator and the team monitor the progress of the exercise. When we have visitors like yourself, without taking you through the risk of going to the site to view the progress of the exercise, we have 24 hours view of the exercise area. We have Wi-Fi enabled cameras that I am using to monitor the activities there. We also have radio communication provided by the Nigerian Army Signals, I also use from here to pass instructions to the search, identification, recovery, and disposal team at that particular site without even going there at all. So at the end of this brief, I'm going to show you what is happening within the general area of the clearance presently in real time as they're carrying out that as it's going on. For recovery so far, as I said earlier, we've carried out 90% of the clearance operation. And during this clearance, we've recovered about 93 unexploded ordinances, various calibers. We recovered them at the site so far. We've recovered them so far at the site. And there's some of them, as you can see on the screen. Yes, so there are various calibers of ordinances. And for every recovery, we have records of them, including the grid reference of the location where they are being recovered from, the description of the type of unexploded ordinances, and other remarks. So that's what you have on the screen. Now, for media, I'll just talk a little bit about our media plan. In order to keep the civil authority and the populace informed of the exercise that's ongoing, we are partnering, just like the Chief of Army Staff have said yesterday. The media is a very important partner in this particular exercise because there's need for us to carry out that particular communication to the press on the progress as we're doing right now. And as the exercise progresses, we'll be having this media brief every 2 weeks. I'll come around, we'll give you what we have done so far. And also, in addition to this, whenever we're carrying out UXO, we'll be carrying out UXO disposal exercises at the Nigerian Army Range in Agility. We'll also inform the press some days before for the message to actually go out to the general public and to sensitize them as to the disposal exercise. At the end of the exercise clean sweep also, after the site certification, we'll also be having a general press briefing to give a rundown of everything and a summary of everything that transpired during the exercise, including the site's handover at the end of the day.